Everyone needs to watch out because, man, I'm telling you, the Houston Texans are looking really good. You're watching the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. Hello, welcome to the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment here on a Monday. And I have some more takeaways from yesterday's games here, week 2 of the NFL 2016 NFL season. Number one, we're going to talk about the Houston Texans and why they are looking scary good right now. And we're going to discuss why Ezekiel Elliott is struggling in his transition to the NFL. Let's start with the Houston Texans. Now, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, and anytime we have to talk about the Houston Texans and how good they are, I cringe a little bit, man, because I really don't want to have this conversation, but it's a conversation that we need to have. Guys, the Texans are looking really good. I mean, really good. If you haven't watched one of their games, I really suggest that you do so. I really sat down, watched their game against the Chiefs. I watched their game last week against the Chicago Bears. And their defense right now, man, it is so good. Jadeveon Clowney's healthy, and boy, is he making an impact in the run game and in the pass game. The guy's rushing the passer, and the guy is being an absolute janitor, cleaning up anything that comes his way in the run game. They have a guy named John Simon, who is a rotational pass rusher who is getting on the field and getting consistent pass rush on the quarterback and getting sacks, quarterback pressures, and they still have J.J. Watt, and they still have Whitney Merciless. A 1, 2, 3, 4 punch at the pass rushing position in the NFL. They are just coming after folks in the passing game, and man, Alex Smith had troubles with it, Jay Cutler had troubles with it, and I think Jacoby Brissett will have troubles and issues with it this Thursday night. I think the Texans are going to win this game, and we need to start considering the Houston Texans as a potential Super Bowl contender. I think we need to start this conversation. And offensively, again, we understand that in the past we couldn't trust the Texans offensively. You know, they used to have Matt Schaub and Andre Johnson, but we never trusted Matt Schaub. And Arian Foster, we couldn't trust him to stay healthy. Now they have a new quarterback, new running back, new wide receivers. DeAndre Hopkins is a stud. Will Fuller, the first-round wide receiver they took in the 2016 NFL Draft, 2 consecutive 100-plus receiving yard games. He's gotten off to a hot start, and he's adding a vertical dimension to this Texans passing offense that has been very dangerous thus far. You know, you move down the depth chart, Braxton Miller is still improving, Jalen Strong is still improving. The tight end position is a little weak right now, but for Dorwicks and Ryan Griffin, they're okay. They're not horrible, but they're okay. And offensive line is pretty good right now. Brock Osweiler. Now, I still don't think he's great. He had 2 interceptions this last game. He had 1 interception week 1. But man, if he just does enough to lead these guys, and Lamar Miller, who they have in the run games, does enough to get a good amount of yards, and then Brock Osweiler just relies on these great weapons that he has, man, the Texans are looking good. I don't see any way they do not win the AFC South. They're looking like a potential 3rd seed in the AFC, and maybe even 4th. I don't know. It depends how good the Broncos really are, because I'm not quite sure they're as good as we think they are. The Steelers look really good right now. They're 2-0. They look really good. Patriots 2-0 look really good. Texans, I think, are right there. And then it's the Broncos to me right now. Honestly, I think the Texans are looking better than the Broncos because I'm trusting the Texans more when it comes to the offensively than the Denver Broncos right now. Honestly, right now. And this is, yes, despite the fact that the Denver Broncos won the Super Bowl last year. So this is just a word to the wise or the unwise. Look out for the Houston Texans because, man, they're looking really, really, really good. We move on to my other a takeaway from week 2, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. The guy had 2 fumbles yesterday, one of which was lost. The other one was luckily recovered, but man, he's not looking very good. And this is coming as a shock and a surprise to a lot of people, but not to me. Because if you remember, I was someone that was pretty critical of Ezekiel Elliott coming out of college. I said I wouldn't take this guy probably in the 1st round, maybe at the top of the 2nd, maybe at the late 1st, but definitely not with the 4th pick overall in the draft. Why? Because simply he's not a guy that has any elite traits at the running back position. None, zero. And I need to see that because when you look at the best running backs over the past decade, right? Adrian Peterson, elite size, elite speed. Marshawn Lynch, elite size, elite power. Chris Johnson, elite speed. Jamal Charles, elite receiving ability and elite speed and agility. Maurice Jones-Drew, elite power and nice speed to go with that power and size that he has. Ezekiel Elliott, he looks like Lamar Miller. And Lamar Miller's all right. I mean, Lamar Miller isn't bad. He's pretty good. Would you take Lamar Miller with the 4th overall pick in any given draft? No, maybe the 2013 draft just because it was so awful. But in this 2016 draft where we have potential studs like Jalen Ramsey and DeForest Buckner, some other guys on the board that you could take and be a better player for you overall. Or you can sit back and wait for the second round as Derrick Henry is just going to be sitting there waiting for you, begging for you to draft him. But no, the Cowboys, they jumped the gun and they took Ezekiel Elliott, number 4 overall. He didn't deserve to go that high. He never deserved to go that high. I'm not saying he's a bust. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's not worth the 4th overall pick. And he was never going to be worth the 4th overall pick. Because just look at Ezekiel Elliott. Go back to Ohio State. The holes, the running back holes, they were wide open, man. You never saw a need, a necessity where guys are in his face and he needs to make a quick cut or he needs to power through some people and keep going. You never really saw that because he doesn't possess any of those elite traits. Go look at Leonard Fournette. He does that. He'll ram right through you. Look at Dalvin Cook. He'll slide right past you. He'll juke you out and go right past you. Same goes with Royce Freeman. Same goes with Christian McCaffrey. This was never on display for Ezekiel Elliott. And now you're seeing the fumbles starting to come up. And I even saw that at Ohio State. He didn't have too many fumbles, but I didn't like how he was carrying the football. I also don't like his persona, his personality, his character. He's a guy that's a little too high on himself, a little too full on himself. We saw at Ohio State when this guy was complaining because he didn't get the ball enough in a certain loss and he was throwing a bitch fit and all of that. Ezekiel Elliott was always a drama queen. He's already getting in trouble going to some marijuana dispenser in Seattle. He looks a little overweight right now. I mean, this guy yesterday, this guy was slipping and sliding all over the Redskins freaking turf over the first quarter. I was like, is this guy gonna get up? What is going on with Ezekiel Elliott? I don't know. And ultimately, look, you should have seen it. All right, I tried to warn you. He's gonna be fine. Okay, now first of all, he's not gonna be a bust. I mean, I think if you're taking this guy for the raw and the production you're gonna get from him, I think this is kind of a bust, but he's not gonna be a complete bust. He will play. Okay, he's going to be a running back for the next 4 years. He's probably going to get 1,000 yards maybe every year. But he's never going to be Leonard Fournette. He's never going to be Adrian Peterson. He's never going to be Jamal Charles. He's never going to be Marshawn Lynch. He's never going to be Chris Johnson. He's never going to be game-changing. And this is the guy you took 4th overall in the draft. It was a mistake then. I tried to warn you. And now you're starting to see that. So there you go. What are your guys' thoughts on Ezekiel Elliott and the Houston Texans? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and most importantly to subscribe. And until next time, this has been the MJ Take on Sports Fan Entertainment. And I'm out. Peace.